Hey, what's up everybody? It's me, Jordan, and I'm back with another inking video. In this video, I'm drawing a really different version of Victor, I don't know how to pronounce it, from the anime Yuri on Ice, which seems to be blowing up right now, and I'll just say right now, I have never watched it, so I don't know. But I thought this would be a really fun thing to do, take a really well-known character and then draw them in a completely different style. Not necessarily different style, but actually just change how the character is. So I've gone with a bit of a kind of punk look here, I guess. It's got the neck tattoo, smoking a cigarette, face tattoos. I don't think that's really Victor at all from what I've seen. The only thing these two Victors have in common is that they're probably both on ice. A drug joke's not appropriate on YouTube. Whatever. I thought it'd be really fun to do, and if you guys have got any other suggestions for different characters that you might want to see taken in a completely different direction, that'd be kind of cool. Maybe let me know in the comments, and maybe it could be a kind of series that I do from time to time, taking your favourite characters and turning them into something really, really different. I think that'd be cool. So let me know what you think. Originally, I'm just laughing thinking about it, but originally my idea was to have Victor look like he'd been in a horrible accident and just have like blood coming down his face and have him look like one of my creepypasta characters, and then have the title like Victor dies in season 2 or something. I don't know. He was in a horrible ice skating accident. It was probably a really bad idea, so I didn't really go with that. I feel like that would probably offend a lot of fans. I'm sorry if I sound really stupid. I have just had like a triple shot of coffee and I was up really late last night, so I'm feeling like a little bit hypo at the moment. So if I say some stupid stuff, that's why. I'm sorry. I'll try and tone it back down a little bit. But that was kind of my original idea. But I kind of still like that idea with some other characters. I've been thinking about drawing some Disney characters, but really twisted, like Disney princesses, but creepypasta version, blood, and yeah, a little bit messed up. But I think that would be really fun, and I like the idea of taking a well-known character where people already have these ideas about them, how they should be, and taking it in a completely different, twisted direction. So maybe that will be coming in the future, so look out for that. I just can't wait to offend some fans and destroy some childhood memories, because I get off on that shit. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about the inking for this piece. When I started this one, I hadn't really done much drawing for a while. I'd been working on a bunch of editing, so I was a little bit rusty when I started inking this, and I really noticed it. It's really weird. Sometimes I have these days where I can just ink really easily and it's just smooth, and then other days I feel a little bit wobbly, and I was definitely feeling a bit like that with this piece. It helps being able to go back and then thicken up the lines. You can clean everything up, and gee, I keep knocking the microphone. I just keep making hand gestures when I talk. I don't know why, but it kind of helps. I'm just weird like that. But anyway, going back and thickening up lines not only makes your drawing stand out a bit more, makes it a bit bolder, more noticeable, it also means you can fix up any lines that might need it. So definitely utilize that. It really helps, makes it look a lot cleaner, and just makes it look more powerful, so it's really worth doing that. Make sure you have thick lines and thin lines, have a bit more variety. Giving it a nice contrast between the thick and thin lines makes it look a lot more dynamic, and a bunch of other descriptive words which really aren't necessary, but it makes it sound like I know what I'm talking about. So let's just pretend that I do. Have you ever been in art class and then the teacher asks you some question about some old ass painting? You're meant to describe the techniques used and why this was used and what effect it has, and you just start rambling on and using all these really unnecessary words, and you're just kind of thinking in your head, I have no freaking idea what the hell I'm talking about, but for some reason it kind of works and you just go on and on. That's what this video feels like. Maybe I have learnt something from school. I've learnt how to bullshit and make it sound like I know what I'm talking about when I really don't. Jordan, could you please explain some of the motifs that were possibly used in this painting? Yes, of course. See, over here we have a skull, and that represents the mortality of the artist. Next to the skull we have a freshly picked rose, which contrasts with the skull, but at the same time, it's only a matter of time before that rose withers and dies, just like the skull. It shows the balance of life and the inevitability of death. I also love the use of texture used in this painting. It brings a lot of life into the piece, and it is truly exquisite. I just draw things. Art can be so pretentious sometimes, it's kind of hilarious. But what I've found, it's not even the artists who are pretentious. It's the self-proclaimed art connoisseurs who can't even draw themselves. Or at least not very well anyway, but have all this hidden knowledge that even the artists don't have. And then they think that everything has to have some hidden meaning behind it. But they're the ones making up the hidden meaning, it's not even the artist. Yes, there is often meaning behind these pieces, but do we really have to tear everything to shreds to find every possible hidden meaning? And this was done because of this. Maybe it was done because it looks good. I mean, come on. Call a spade and leave it at that. That's the art world. Well, the educated art world. But I'm kind of exaggerating. A little bit. There's pretentious people in every field, and art is no different. But there's still some really good information out there, so be open to everything. I think you can get useful information from lots of different sources. Don't close yourself off to it because you think it's just some art mumbo jumbo that you're learning at school. Sometimes you can get some really helpful stuff from that if you just have an open mind. And I think that's actually a pretty important lesson, and maybe something that a lot of people struggle with. I've struggled with it in the past, and maybe sometimes I still do. And that is taking advice from someone who you might not necessarily like as a person. We generally are happy to take advice from people we like or that we get along with, but then you might have some teacher who you really just don't like, they irritate you, and maybe for good reason. But maybe they have some advice which is actually relevant to you and is actually good advice, and that can be clouded by the fact that we really don't like them. So, it's important to be able to take advice from people you don't like. There's lots of people you're not going to like in life. That's just how it is. But it doesn't mean some of the stuff they're saying isn't really valuable and applicable to your situation. I had a similar kind of situation when I was at school. Julia. And Jess. I haven't forgotten about you either, Jess. You started out nice, but why did you turn into such a bitch? Some of my art teachers, I didn't really get along with the best. It was nothing bad, but they kind of irritated me. I'll be honest, I was always kind of stuck doing my own thing, and that's how I wanted it to be. I was like, I'm a passionate artist, I'm going to do this, no matter what anyone else says, I don't care what they say, I'm going to do my own thing. And that's all well and good, but if you want to really grow as an artist, it's worth taking other people's opinions on board. Not everything, but some things. And looking back, I realised that my teachers had some pretty good advice. Apart from you, Jess, you're still a bitch. I'm just kidding, I don't know you. But seriously, you were teaching for like 2 years. You started out nice, and then you got jaded that quickly and turned into a cow. What the hell? And stuff that I actually implemented later down the track when I realised how stubborn I was being. So keep that in mind, all you young artists, or even older people who are still kind of stuck in your ways. Try and take advice from everyone, if it's good advice. Alright, I think it's about time I wrap this video up. It's been a pretty interesting one. It started out really crazy, and then I feel like there's some good messages there. Hopefully the advice was helpful to some of you guys. Or maybe just fangirls wanted to see Victor. Girls seem to think he's really hot, so I guess I'll just shut up then. You guys can look at the picture of Victor. God damn it, Victor. If you want to see more of my artwork and keep up to date with what I'm working on, go check me out on Instagram. I'm always posting a lot of photos on there. Plus, there are some pretty funny comments left on the photo I put up of this drawing, so go have a look at that if you want to have a laugh at some crazy fangirls who really, really like Victor. I'm not judging, I mean, he's a pretty handsome looking guy. If I swung that way, maybe I'd find him attractive, but you know, I'm kind of into girls and real life people, so go check that out. Thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave it a thumbs up, that would be awesome. And like always, I will catch you guys next week in next week's drawing video. So I'll be answering some questions in this video. Don't mind the chainsaw in the background. It's nothing really, it's not someone cutting up dead bodies in the basement or anything. Edit this out.